have a new policy across the state of Tennessee that we are not allowed to allow any AI tools into our meetings. So if we see any AI, such as Otter, joining the meeting, those will be removed from our meeting. So just keep that in mind if you were planning to use one of those. This is a list of our educator effectiveness team. And you may notice right off the bat, we are missing one of our favorite people, Martha Moore. She was our senior director, and Martha has now retired with 30 years of service to the state and to the schools in Tennessee. So we will miss Martha, but we wish her well in her retirement. The educator effectiveness team is mostly here today. I want to introduce Amy Floyd. She's our director of data and district support. I'm Tracy Riddle. I am the director of educator effectiveness. We also have Micah Fager with us today. Micah is our director of team training and support. Sarah Brown could not be here with us today. She is working on our teacher recognition and communications, preparing for those scores of those applications that you all are sending in for your Teachers of the Year. We have our newest member of the team, Candace Robinson. Welcome, Candace is our new team contractor. In our meeting today, I want to go over with you how to verify that your portfolio teacher roster is correct. I'm going to show you how to add or remove anyone that needs to be corrected on your roster and how to do that with the add remove template. We'll go through your next steps to do for the rest of the month into our next meeting, and I will provide you with information on how to receive support. The first thing we're going to talk about today is the portfolio teacher roster verification. I have a link here in this PowerPoint with the directions and the guidance. This is from our team website. Once this office hour and this PowerPoint is posted, you can also click on this link directly. So for your portfolio teacher roster verification, it's so important that each of you as portfolio leads do maintain accurate records. And an accurate teacher roster in TNPortfolio is critical. We will need you to check these carefully as I go through how to do that today, and let us know if anyone has been left off that needs to be added, or if there's anyone there that needs to be removed. The roster verification is a time for us to ensure that all of the correct teachers have access to the portfolio platform and that they can log in, get in, set up their accounts. We want them to be able to upload and self-score their student work artifacts. This process is required by portfolio leads to review the reports in TNPortfolio. It's critical that you all can log in and access your district administrator reports. You want to check those reports for accuracy. You want to ensure that all of your non-tested teachers in the selected grade or subject that your district or charter chose to implement portfolio are in the platform. We want all of our portfolio teachers to receive an individual growth score. The roster verification deadline is Friday, January the 31st. So you may be wondering, why do we do this? Why do we have roster verification for our portfolio teachers? You've all submitted your rosters. They're all in the platform. The reason we have this time in January to verify these rosters is one, for teachers. Teachers need access to the platform. So we not only want to roster them, but we want to make sure they can get in and log in and that their information is correct so that they can upload and self-score their student work. Without that, they cannot have a complete portfolio. And without a complete portfolio, they will not receive an LOE. Incomplete portfolios do receive an incomplete as a score, and they don't receive an LOE. And we don't want that to happen. We want all of our portfolio teachers to receive that score that will be 35% of their final LOE for 24-25. For you all as portfolio leads, by doing this process, you are meeting the roles and responsibilities that are laid out in our policy for portfolio leads. You are maintaining an accurate teacher record in the platform. You are adding and removing teachers that are needed to be added and removed for this school year. And you're going to take an active role in monitoring the progress of your teacher's portfolio development and submission. And then for us as state administrators, I am going to use this information for the number of teachers that are in the platform that are accurate. That number is what I use for our peer reviewer hires. So we'll talk about peer review hires next month in February, but it's very important that we have an accurate number of teachers that are implementing the portfolio. So how do you complete your roster verification? First, you need to log in to TNPortfolio, and you need to click on your portfolio teacher report. When you click on this report, you will see at the bottom the CSV. You want to download that CSV to your computer and save that CSV, and then you will be able to see all of your teachers on the spreadsheet. If you missed our office hour in October, we walk into more detail. If you need to go back and watch that recording on how to pull this report and read this report. Once you have the report, you want to check that every teacher that is working in your district or your charter for the grade or that portfolio model, such as PE, fine arts, world language, that every teacher that teaches those grades or subjects are on the roster. You also want to check the license number. I've had a few of you reach out and ask about the leading 3 zeros being missing, and that is okay. When we upload scores to TN Compass, we do ensure that the leading zeros are there, but you do want to check that the 6 numbers following the leading 3 zeros are correct. So you want to check that license number. Keep in mind that for this platform, TNPortfolio, teachers have logged in with their SSO account. So if that license number is incorrect, I need you to let us know, and I'll show you how to do that on your form. But that also means that it's incorrect in their SSO account. So your EIS director will need to check that license number in EIS as well. You need to check the school email. This email is the email. It could be either the email you rostered the teacher with, or it is, if they have already logged in with their SSO, this email is the one that's connected to their SSO. So we don't want to change emails if the teacher is in the platform with SSO. They're fine. It's the teachers who have not been able to log in because this email in the roster is not the same. Maybe it could be we found spelling errors. We found just incorrect emails that were in the SSO. So that could potentially be why someone's not being able to log in. I do want you to also check that the portfolio model is accurate, that is the subject or the grade that the teacher is submitting for a portfolio. And then finally, check that last column, the date the TNPortfolio was assessed. Anyone who has blank in that row, that means they have not logged in. We need to contact those teachers as soon as possible. We like to see everyone logged in now to be sure that they can log in before it's time to start submitting work and we run into a bigger problem with them trying to get access and complete their portfolio by the May deadline. When you look at your roster, this is what it will look like, and I have shaded out names for privacy reasons. You want to look here in column G for that TLN. Again, it's okay if the 3 leading zeros are missing, but you want to check that for accuracy. You also want to check the email. Again, keep in mind, you will notice over here for this district, this teacher that has already logged in, we don't need to change that email. That email is the one that's connected to this SSO. But these teachers that are blank, that have not logged in, potentially it could be because the email they were rostered with has an error. That could be a reason. So you want to check that. Check the model, that these are the correct models. And then again, to me, the most important thing is to check this date. Make sure that everyone has a date where they have accessed. and start reaching out to anyone who is blank. These are people who have not logged in, they don't have access. And we want that to happen before the submission deadline. Otherwise, they would receive an incomplete. So, how do you make the corrections to your roster once you've downloaded your report? You can click here for the template. The template is also embedded in the directions for roster verification. When you download this template, first be sure that you do download it. The what are those things called? The drop downs. The drop downs will not appear if you don't download the file. So download the file first, save it to your desktop, and then you can begin to complete it. I also have a link here for the template. Once you complete the template, and the template is blank, it's different from if you are also doing the alternative growth measure URS. This template is blank. You are only going to put on this template teachers who needed to be added or teachers who need to be removed. You're going to put their information, fill it out. You're going to make the corrections. And if you are adding someone, then you select add. If you are needing to remove someone, select remove. If you need to update someone's information, select update. And I do want to say again, if they have already logged in with their SSO, we cannot update their name. We cannot update their email. It will throw it off. That needs the same. But if they have not logged in and you can tell that their name or their email is incorrect, then update those. We do want you to update the TLN if it's incorrect, as well as go back to your EIS coordinators and make sure that that TLN is also correct in EIS. After you add, remove, or update in the H column, then put the reason that you need to make those changes. Why did you need to add someone in January? Why would you need to remove someone? And what are you updating? And you will find this drop down in column I. So what are the reasons to add someone in January? There are really only two reasons that you would add anyone at this point. The first reason would be that you simply left them off. Especially in our larger districts, sometimes you might find once you run the report that someone accidentally got left off. If they were left off, but they have been in your schools all year, they have there's no other reason except you forgot it was an error that they were left off, then you add them. If the teacher has also been there all year and they're working right along, but they just received their active permit waiver or their TLN, then you can add them now. And just making sure that that 9-digit number is in TN Compass and that they are also staffed as a teacher in TN Compass. Teachers were not able to be staffed as a teacher prior to having an active permit waiver or license. So if they have that now and you are adding them to the roster, double check with your evaluation configurators that they have also been staffed as teachers in the correct school in TN Compass so that they can receive their score. There are a few more reasons why you would need to remove someone. Every year in January, we do have a few teachers across the state that have left their districts. That might be a reason that they would be marked PYE. It could be that someone has changed grades. They no longer teach the grade that they started in the beginning of the semester. There's several reasons why a teacher could be PYE. So you want to check, remove if someone has already been marked PYE in TN Compass. I'll go ahead and ask this question that we've been asked many times. What if a teacher is not PYE, but I think they might be? If they are not PYE today, just leave them alone. Leave them on the template. If they become PYE later on in the school year, up until the deadline, if someone becomes PYE, you can email us separately at portfolio.questions and just tell us that teacher's name and license that they are PYE and I can take them out, or you can just leave it alone. I would rather you tell me that they're PYE so that we will have clean records of teachers in the platform. But if a PYE teacher gets an incomplete portfolio, it does not count. PYE teachers do not get any evaluation of their evaluation scores for the school year, and they do not generate LOEs. If the teacher, another reason to remove someone from your roster is if you look at the roster and you find out this teacher actually doesn't teach this grade or this model. Maybe they switched since school started, then you can remove them as well. We've already talked about this, but I wanted to have it in the PowerPoint for you to refer back to. Remember the reasons to update. The top part are reasons to update someone who has not accessed the platform yet with their SSO. So if you see that their first or last name is misspelled or that their school email is incorrect, then update that information. Or for any teacher, whether they've logged in or not, if their TLN is incorrect or if their portfolio model is incorrect, then I need you to update that on the roster as well. So your next steps, and that these next steps are also on the team website. So first, download the add and remove template if you need it. Then make sure you have pulled down your portfolio teacher report in TNPortfolio. If you look at your report and everything is correct, go ahead and complete your roster verification form. And here's the link. This is a form stack survey. So when you click on this, it will ask you for your name and that you are verifying that everything is correct in the platform. This needs to be completed by every district and charter by January the 31st. If you see you need corrections made to your roster, then complete the add and remove template by next Friday, the 24th. That gives us time to make the changes you need in the platform so that you can go back, check your report again, and then submit your roster verification form that everything is correct. Please do not submit your form if you have add and removed people and have not checked yet that it is correct. Only submit this when you see everything is accurate in the platform. And again, everyone needs to submit their form to FormStack by Friday, January the 31st. For support, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at portfolio.questions@tn.gov. Next month, we will talk about other reports in the platform. We've just titled this Pulling Reports, so you can begin monitoring teachers' progression as they begin their collections and uploading student work. I'm also going to talk to you about peer reviewer applications in February. If you have other questions outside of what we've talked about today, you can email team questions. If you have any questions around TN Compass, possibly marking people PYE or staffing your teachers. If you have any questions about the portfolio, that is coming to us at Portfolio Questions. And if you have any questions around TVOS roster verification, that is completely different than what we're doing with portfolio rosters, you would email rv.questions. Other emails that our team does not support, but we want to give you the information is around licensure. If you have any licensure questions, you'll see that email here, Tassel questions, go to Tassel information. If you have any questions around your universal reading screeners, that goes to TN.universal screener. And then any questions around assessment, they go to TNEd.assessment. Thank you. That was a very quick meeting, but I hope you have gleaned the information you need for roster verification. I am going to stop sharing my screen now, Micah, and turn it over to you for any questions that I might have in the chat.
We don't have any at the moment, so if anybody needs to come off of mute and ask a question, feel free.
I do have a question. I have a teacher that keeps getting an error message every time she logs in. We've sent the question and they said to talk to our EIS director. We have. No one can figure out why she can't get in. And so I'm just kind of at a loss at this point. She's like
Sure.
the only one.
Yeah, I'm happy to help you, Sonia. If a teacher gets error, that means there's an error with the SSO account information that they are using to log in. The platform doesn't have an error screen. So when she's clicking on log in with your SSO, that's where her error is popping up. And she has sent us screenshots. Um, so the problem is she is not typing in her correct SSO account, or she's typing in the wrong password that was created when with that SSO account. So to correct that, and if someone on my team would drop in the chat, you would email dt.support@tn.gov and ask them for a reset. Give them the teacher's name and their license number, and that the teacher needs their SSO account information and password.
Okay.
That's the problem. That's what the error message means.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
I'm going to send that to her right now.
Thank you. And
I
thank you
appreciate
for
that.
working to get everybody logged in.
All righty.
Tracy.
Hi, Carlos.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
So I still have two individuals who are not able to log on either. And can I act on their behalf, or do they need to contact DT support?
You can contact DT support on their behalf if they're getting the error. Is it because when they log in, they're not getting past the login screen?
It's something like that, and they're just not being vigilant about what they're supposed to do. So I'm literally having to do a hand over hand type situation.
I understand. Thank you for doing that. There's going to be a point where you just have to say, the deadline's here, but I appreciate you're trying very hard. There's two things to find out. One is if it's like what Miss Sonia's referring to, are they not able to log in because when they click on login with your SSO, they're not getting past that? That's DT support. If they are logging in with their SSO and they're getting a message that says, welcome to TNPortfolio, you're not enrolled, then that needs to come to me. Then that's a different problem. We have had teachers get that message when their SSO wasn't connecting to the name and email on the roster. So that's what I was saying. When you look at, if somebody gets that message, it could be that what I uploaded them from your roster is not matching SSO, and I can correct that. Or I can tell you I can find the problems in that scenario. So find out which of those are the reason, and then you'll know who to contact me or to contact DT support.
Thanks so much.
You're very welcome.
Not necessarily. Okay.
Hi, Tracy. This is Malika. How are you?
I'm good. Hi, Miss Collins.
I apologize for my tardiness, and I'm not sure if these were covered before I logged in, but I do have two questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Number one is about the platform. Is the training available on the website?
It is available. And I will talk about it while I'm sure one of my colleagues is going to drop it for you. I see Micah shaking her head.
Okay.
On the team website, if you scroll over Student Growth Portfolios tab at the top, the first drop down says TN Portfolio Platform. Click on that and it takes you to the platform page. In the middle of the page, there's a section for teachers, and it will say Portfolio Teacher Access. And it says instructional video. There's a hyperlink that will take you to a YouTube video of me walking teachers all the way from logging in to 100% complete. It's only 16 minutes. And then under the video is the PDF. It's the PowerPoint that I use in the video. And you can hover over the PowerPoint and see my comments. So I would say give them both of those resources where they can watch the video, but they can also hover over my PowerPoint to see any support or comments that I've put in the PowerPoint.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am. You're very welcome.
Question number two is about PYE with two teachers who did not have permits in place prior to us going out in December. So per my understanding, if they didn't have it in December, they would not complete a portfolio. Am I incorrect?
I'm going to say back to you what I think you're asking me, okay? If the teacher has been if the teacher has been employed and been in your classrooms all year, but they are just now getting their number, their permit or waiver, then you do need to add them. They couldn't go on your original roster because without a TLN, we couldn't put them in, but they have been teachers. So they're not PYE because they just got their license number. PYE means they just got hired, that they have less than 120 days in the classroom. But if you're
Right.
talking about a teacher who's been there all year, they're getting evaluations, they should generate an LOE. They just got their number, then we add them now. Does
Okay.
that answer your question?
That absolutely answers it. Thank
Wonderful.
you.
Thank
Tracy, I'm
you.
gonna jump in just real quick. Hi,
Yes, ma'am.
everyone. So sorry to jump in. I'm Taylor Reed. I serve as our Senior Director of Licensure, and am kind of helping out with the wonderful educator effectiveness team, which really means that they're actually teaching me all of their expertise. I do just want to say on the licensure side, if there is an educator who has been in a classroom as an employee since August, there is very little reason why they should have just gotten a TLN. Now, it could be that they applied for a permit or they applied for their license and maybe they submitted something incorrectly in their personal information and a hold was placed. However, we are on a 3-day average on turnaround on transactions. So there should be very few and far between reasons why an educator would have been in the classroom since August and just now gotten a license or a credential. So that is definitely something that if is applicable to your situation, you'll just want to kind of look into. Again, we do know that we have some educators who accidentally click yes on a personal affirmation question and it places an automatic hold that has to go through the discipline process. But other than that, we're not operating in a space where we were a few years ago of a 6 to 8 week turnaround on licensure transactions. So I do just want to put that out there for everyone, and to Tracy's point about folks who have been employed but have just received a TLN, and they do receive a TLN whether they are getting a permit, a license, and then of course a waiver is for a licensed educator, so they would already have that same TLN.
Thank you, Taylor. Thank you so much. It's great having a licensure person on our meeting. That is not my expertise. Miss Wilson, do you have a question? I see Jocelyn, you have your hand up. Maybe not. Any other questions, Micah, in the chat? Oh, I can't hear you. Are you trying to ask your question? I can see you. You can type it in the chat. Yes, ma'am.
Tracy, while she's typing that, this is Hope Malone in Hawkins
Hi,
County.
Hi,
Hey,
Hope.
I have on the portfolio platform, I have a teacher that is listed under the wrong school.
Okay.
So do I just put
You
that
can.
in my
Yes.
Excel sheet and email
Yes,
that to
ma'am.
you? Okay,
I didn't
perfect.
put that in my example on the PowerPoint, but that is an example. If you notice the school code was submitted, or maybe I typed in the wrong school code, click update, and then is there a drop down, Micah, that says school code? It may or may not be, but you can just type in on there somewhere that it's for me to change the school code.
You can
Okay.
add that in the email when you send it.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
you're
just
going to
change
send
it.
the add and remove in an email. That's right, Micah. Thank you. So
Okay,
just
I
let
just
me know.
changed. Yeah, I put it in the Excel sheet and fixed the school name and the code just in case, but I'll put that in the email as
Perfect.
well.
Yes. And I will
Okay.
get that done as fast as I can.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Any other questions? I do want to take this opportunity to say thank you. Most all of our districts are at 100% of your teachers are logged in, and that's wonderful. We just have a few teachers left that have not logged in. So again, if you will check on those that are not logged in, my goal is 100% of our teachers will get logged in and get a score. We don't want incompletes, and I know you don't either. Any questions in the chat? I can't see the chat, Micah.
Yes. So the first one is a teacher that was at another school and started teaching at my school, and she is unable to log in. I contacted DTS, but the email has not been changed.
Okay, whoever asked this question, I'm going to say back what I think you're asking. The teacher worked somewhere else and was
And had an
was
SSO
rostered.
for somewhere else.
Oh,
and
they
is
had an
now
SSO somewhere else. Now they work at your district. They will not be able to log into the platform in District A if their SSO is still connected to District B. EIS coordinators have got to fix that. We can't fix SSO accounts. So if I have a teacher over here in my District A who can't get in, then I need to contact my District A's EIS coordinator needs to create an SSO account for that teacher in that district. Their old SSO account from another district will not connect to their current district email information. It will not work. That has to be done outside of us. It has to be done by the districts. If the EIS coordinator needs help, DT support can help them create accounts. But I've been told by DT support all EIS coordinators have been trained on how to create accounts. Is that answering the question that was asked?
That was Jocelyn's question. So
Jocelyn, is thumbs up, thumbs down? Am I answering your question?
yes, thank you.
Okay, good.
All right, next question. We have a SPED teacher who is on waiver to get a pre-K certification. Do they submit portfolio?
I believe what Taylor just mentioned was a waiver is a license. So yes.
If they are teacher of record for pre-K, and that's a space they're teaching in, and that's why they're on a waiver, then they would submit for that area. So yes, I think.
And they will
Tracy,
have a
if I'm
number.
correct.
They'll have a 9-digit number in T Encompass, right?
It's the same number they've always
So
had.
it's their thing. So they will be
Yes.
fine. They will generate not only this part, but observation and achievement for an LOE.
Yes.
Yes.
And the TLN, it's stuck with you. We think of it like a unique identifier that's not your social, because we do not want to put that out for everyone to see, but it is like your social in that you have it for life.
Thank you, Taylor. Any other questions?
No, I did drop in the website, the webpage for SSOs, and it has like DT support email, it has their phone number, it has an FAQ for SSOs. So if your EIS coordinator needs assistance, you can also give them that website as well. That's all of the questions in the chat.
Okay, well, thank you all for your time and attention. Let us know if you run into any snags or questions as you complete your roster verification form. If you need anything when you're doing your add and remove as well, just email us at portfolio.questions, and we are more than happy to help you.